What's up, everyone? Welcome to Reckless Reviews with your boy M3. Make sure you guys get your minds right. And then we also have the Sophisticated Jerk from Managed Sophistication. Anyways, how you doing, Sophisticated Jerk, man? What's been good with you?
Man, just been chilling. How you been, man? I see you got the Golden State Warriors shirt on. You repping?
Yeah, man. I'm rapping, even though, man, I should have been putting on the 49ers jersey, but hey, your boy was out and about, so I had to take care of business things. So, but it's all good. When the Niners, when they win tomorrow, like on Super Bowl Sunday, you'll see me with a jersey again.
Oh, you throwing them shots early.
Hey, man, it's all about having faith, man, in your team. So, go Niners. But yeah, man. But today, man, we're gonna be talking about something that's gonna be controversial, per usual. And man, we're gonna be talking about how women with can earn their promotion through Christian BBLs, I would say.
Yeah, we going in on the church today. Even the church can get it,
Yeah, let the church say, amen to that, right? So here we go with this one. As always, this is fair use. And the title of this is pretty much like a young woman with a BBL gets promoted by gets promoted as a co-pastor by typical mega church pastor, okay? And we're talking about Jamal Bryant. So if you don't know who this guy is, we'll give you guys a little snippet before we play it. Again, this is all like in fair use. Shout outs to O'Shea Dude Jackson, because one thing I would definitely say, right? With my brother O'Shea Dude Jackson, when he be doing his reaction videos, he keeps us safe from getting copyrights. So thank you, O'Shea, for doing what you're doing. And then salutes to, Big Mama G's. Hey, salutes Jeezy. Thank you for tuning in, man. So welcome to the live stream. We're about to definitely get in. All right. And we got Miss Oshun in the building as well, too, joining us. So
what's good, Lola?
Hello, everyone. How are you?
You ready to go in?
Listen, I have to be good because I have been under the weather, and I feel like that's a sign for me to be good.
Oh, okay. Hey, but before you play that video, my man looked guilty from the rip. I just want to say that. Just looking at that picture.
Hey, you know what? I definitely see that too, though. Now, look at those eyes, man. Like, I never seen like a pastor with the eyes like that, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Now, wait. I don't know what's happening here. What happened?
All right. So, basically, okay, in order for like a young, beautiful woman to get promoted as a co-pastor, sometimes it's required to acquire a Christian BBL, not just a regular BBL, a Christian-like BBL. Okay, if you want to get more closer to the Lord and within the church. But we're gonna dive into that. Let's go ahead. We're gonna start with the video, and then I have another video to play right afterwards.
Okay.
So again, with fair use. All right. Oh, on a side note, Lola, this is funny because every time I always hear you say like you gotta be good for the day, I have never met a black woman that has constantly needed to be good all the time, especially in these live streams, but you, Lola. So it's like, damn, it's like it sounds like Lola's on some type of probation. I don't know what happened, but
I am not on no probation. I am trying to do inner healing work.
Anyways, fair use. So here we go.
You've been very open over the years about past infidelity,
yes,
and how you grew from that.
Yes.
What do you make of some people out there who will look at this decision to bring you in as senior pastor as new birth trading one controversy for possibly another?
No, I think that it's right on target to be a match made in heaven. who else could help lead a church through scars and pain if you've never done so yourself?
Being a pastor must be one of the hardest jobs in the world. First of all, you're representing a perfect God as an imperfect man. Second, overall, you're working with many different people in many different capacities in the ministries of that church. And third, yes, you will have people who are always trying to get your attention, including women. Let's go back to the first part. Jamal Harrison Bryant is one of the more talented pastors in the Black community, originally getting his start at the Empowerment Temple, which the church he started. Now, his father, I believe, is John Bryant, is the presiding bishop, or at least he was, of the AME Church. And so he has always been in the mix. Unfortunately, that's where those booty clapping sounds come back into play. He's fathered numerous children out of wedlock, and he even addresses it in this clip.
Several years ago, all of a sudden, you're on TVN.
Yes.
And folks are saying, oh, he's the next great preacher.
Right.
You've been called by churches left and right.
Yeah.
And here you are, a young pastor.
Yes.
Thriving, growing church. And all of a sudden, those temptations meet you head on.
Well, I didn't have a litmus test. You have to understand, I was a national televangelist since I was 29. And the whole world had opened up for me. In every stage, I'm preaching in arenas, convention centers, mass mega churches, was quickly becoming a household name. So nothing in my mind ever said, one, I would ever get caught. Number two, that my wife would ever leave. Number three, that my church would tank out.
Walk us through what happened.
I stepped rolling outside of my marriage and had an extramarital affair that ultimately ended in a divorce to an incredibly wonderful woman, not because anything was flawed in the marriage or in her, but in my own immaturity for the level that I was getting ready to go into.
But what makes it even worse is that the church that he ended up taking over, New Birth Baptist Church, also had a scandal. Remember? That was also talked about at the beginning of the clip. And he took over for Bishop Eddie Long, who himself was accused by a lot of young men for, well, doing some of the same things Jamal Harrison Bryant did. And when he was confronted with all...
I'm sorry to pause this real quick, but does anybody know, anybody remember Bishop Eddie Long?
I remember Bishop Eddie Long. I'm hoping to forget his ass, but I remember him.
What was the...
What he do?
Yeah.
Listen, he was the guy that was accused and found to be guilty of grooming young boys and having inappropriate sexual relations with young children, minors that were boys.
Damn. Even though I believe that, of course, we got to say allegedly on YouTube.
No, it came out that he was guilty. You don't have to say that.
I know. We got, yeah. You know how it be.
Yeah.
But yeah, salutes to Wally for tuning in, and then salutes to OG Patrice, salutations family. Thank you everybody for tuning in. For those who are just now tuning in, we're doing a reaction for Pastor Jamal Bryant and co-pastor with a beautiful Christian BBL, what's her name? Dr. Carrie Turner. So we're doing a reaction on that. And then salutes to Embrace the Grace. Thank you for tuning in, family. Much appreciated. I'm gonna give you guys like the little air horn. Shout out to everybody. And of course, I gotta do like the Christian organs. Okay, so peace and salutations. Anybody that want to come up, the link is pinned to the top on knowledge and relationships.
I'm about to in a couple minutes I'm gonna switch off to my computer in a sec. So I'll come in on that.
Okay, yeah, for sure. No problem. All right, let's go ahead and we're gonna continue off.
All of this stuff, and he eventually settled out of court. This is how Bishop Eddie Long addressed it.
I never in my life portrayed myself as a perfect man. But I am not a man
that's being betrayed on the television.
Oh yeah, he said he was gonna fight it all right, and ended up settling out of court because his ass was guilty. And then a few years later, he ended up dying. R.I.P. So New Birth Missionary Baptist Church has this particular taint upon the good name of the church. And Jamal Harrison Bryant has been doing his job to make sure that stain is there. And he does it by many different ways. Allegedly by carrying on affairs in which he said he would stop doing, and unfortunately allegedly fathering more kids since he left his wife. But anyways, let's get back to the news story. The news story is that there is a new young lady on the scene by the name of Dr. Carrie Turner. She is also known as the beautiful co-pastor with the BBL.
Wait a minute, before I even get to Dr. Carrie Turner, so O'Shea said that since he left his wife, he pretty much had more kids. So was it out of wedlock, or did he, or what was it? Because I'm trying to get an understanding, because as a man that's called to a higher standard, once you recognize and you acknowledge a certain type of sin or other sins, you're supposed to repent, and repent means that you're supposed to turn away from that sin and go to God so you don't do that again. So
I think he might have had the kids out of, I think him and his wife, he had an affair or something and they got back with each other. So I think it's still with the same woman, but yeah, my man was dressed like Wesley Snipes on New Jack City. So, you seen that one clip, he had a cream outfit on. So yeah, my boy was flashy out here.
Hey man, you gotta watch out for the ones with those cream outfits, man. I'm telling you, hey, they be out there, you know what I mean, pimping. But okay, let's go ahead and get to Carrie Johnson. I mean, Carrie, what's her name? Turner.
Looking at her pictures, oh my God, she's working with something. And she got promoted to co-pastor of New Birth Missionary Baptist Church, going up the ranks as Jamal Harrison Bryant elevated her. And let's check out the clip from Tasha K and see what's going on here.
Saw Jamal Bryant hand in hand with this beautiful BBL Dr. Karri here, who is his Karri Turner, who is his co-pastor at New Birth. He promoted her from emergent pastor to youth pastor to now she is co-pastor, and she is on trips with him in Fort Lauderdale on the church's money, and they get a little put in deep on the side.
Wow.
And so, and have been, according to sources, since 2017. Now, apparently the church and a lot of people that used to work for the church and stuff have thanked me because they have been trying to figure out first what happened to Tweet. It's okay, Jasmine. Take your time. There we go. What happened to Tweet? I knew he didn't. What happened? People were trying to figure out, and it was Dr. Karri that happened, allegedly, and it was Amber Ty from Country Wayne's skit. It was also Phaedra Parks. Jamal Bryant. All these women, and this is the reason why he won't make the BBL doctor. Bitch, but he can give her a co-pastor position that's as close to the wife as you gonna get, bitch. Okay, now, you know what's really bad about this whole union is that Dr. Karri, BBL co-pastor here, used to date and was engaged to Marvin Sapp. Take your time, Jasmine. It's okay. It's a lot of pictures here. It's a tree. Yeah, and Marvin Sapp and Jamal Bryant are best friends, and apparently used to do heavy alleged orgies together in Detroit.
And then there is another video by a brother by the name of Pastor Ray Curry Jr. Let's see what he has to say.
Dr. Jamal Bryant made Dr. Carrie Turner the co-pastor of New Birth for her ministry credentials. Dr. Carrie Turner in her BBL was introduced as an emerging pastor, because she's talented. And then she was given a youth pastor position, even though she don't have any children. But anyway, and then she was elevated again to be the co-pastor of the whole church, because she's so talented. You mean to tell me that you will allow someone to play with your soul? You will allow this pastor to play games with your eternal destiny?
Okay.
You allow a man to keep promoting someone over who is quite possibly one of his booty calls, allegedly. How many praying, Bible reading, God-seeking individuals have served in that ministry, care about souls, want to help God's people? But who do we promote? The ones whose legs we grow. Jamal Bryant is an unrepentant sinner who said that my Lord was out of order 85% of his life. You blasphemer.
At the risk of being heretical,
Okay.
might I suggest to you that 85% of Jesus' life, he was out of it.
Last time I said something about you, you were calling me.
Hold on, I gotta pause this real quick, right? Okay.
But before you go, M3, I was looking up how many kids he has. They said he got about like 5 kids, maybe like allegedly 6 or 7 baby moms out there. So yeah, he's out here reckless with the dick. Let me just put that out there.
Oh Lord, look, can we get a? I'm sorry, I had to play the organ for that one.
Yeah, my man, he about that life out there. He definitely reckless, man.
But yet he's the same man that unfortunately the typical black church will look up to him before Christ and say, well, if Jamal Bryant, I gotta respect the title, Pastor Jamal Bryant, right? Says that 85% Jesus was out of order. You're basically saying that according to the scriptures, which the scriptures does say that Jesus was a perfect man, okay? According to scriptures. So did you go back in time in the history and you saw all those flaws that Jesus had? I'm just saying, this is coming from a person that's slinging dick around to all his baby mamas out there. And yet you're still on the pulpit, still preaching. Associating yourself with a pastor who's pretty much, slinging his dick around with, I would say, the young niños, Greetings, Von Brian, thank you for tuning in. Grace and abundance to you as well.
Okay, so can I ask a question?
Yeah, no doubt.
What does this have to do with BBLs?
We're getting into that, Lola. I know O'Shea was very long-winded on this conversation, but
I just want to know, because don't get me wrong, I agree with y'all that this right here does not look good. 1, 2, it diminishes the institution of the church. It doesn't diminish Christianity, but it does diminish the institution of the church, which is 2 separate things. I do get that. I do get the hypocrisy. I do get how this lessens the culture, because we do know we have an influx of people in present day that are leaving religion, specifically Christianity. And these are the things that play into that. So I understand. However, the issue of Brazilian butt lifts, I just need to kind of plug this in there. Like, what are we doing here?
We're getting there, Lola. Remember, there's another video, okay, that's going to be specifically on another woman, right, who got her BBLs or whatever, right?
Okay.
But we'll get there. Just be patient. Okay. We're going to skip a little bit of this, right, because I don't care about the dude talking. whoever the other pastor guy is, because at the end he started plugging his like YouTube church, so I don't really care about that.
Okay.
So first of all, there are a lot of people who believe that women should not be preaching in the church. And, I don't even want to get into all of that. I think I've talked about that here on the channel before. But what I think that is so interesting is how the lady is presenting herself in the pulpit. Dr. Carrie Turner looks like, I don't know, a city girl. She definitely does look like she has a BBL, and she looks like a lady who's going to the club rather than going to church. And of course, this seems to be like a congregation full of, let me just say it, fuckery, instead of people looking for religion or looking for Christ or anything like that. But what it does seem like is, well, maybe there's a relationship going on with Jamal Harris and Bryant and Carrie Turner, because damn, she sure is being elevated very fast. And if you look at her,
my man got the jumpsuit on.
She is quite the looker. And definitely there's allegations going on that
he probably just jumped on that moments before taking that photo.
Those cheeks, and probably see why he is. Unfortunately, what we have to understand is that when the leadership of the church behaves like this, the question I want to know is, how can you hold members accountable? And I don't think that this is about holding members accountable. This is about getting more money into the church, because ever since COVID, church membership has probably declined. And Atlanta is a very competitive market. Getting a woman co-pastor will bring in more women. That gives them more money. And of course, that is probably what Jamal Harris and Bryant cares about, which is the bottom line, which is the dollars. This is the same guy who wanted to start growing weed on some of the land the church had. So yeah, anything to make a few dollars to make up for all the money he's spending the church's money, or the lack of funds coming
in. He's basically a Pookie and Railway.
Just moved on. There's more churches coming up in Atlanta. So this is just a way to pretty much revolutionize a new way of income, instead of revolutionizing a new way to bring people to God in the strict way that God operates. And I see everything in the churches today is to be more liberal, being more modern. Where in reality, we're trying to make God like us, instead of us trying to be more closer to God in the way that he would like to receive it. And you can do whatever you want, but all of this crap that people are trying to do to make God fit them as far as what's going on in the Christian experience, I think that next thing you know, is God going to be a person smoking a blunt in the choir stand? I don't know. That's probably going to come next. You're going to see dudes smoking weed in the choir stand and rolling dice pretty soon. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Dude Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.
Yeah, we got to break this one down a little bit before we jump to the next one.
Yeah, of course, definitely. Because, of course, it's definitely like a lot to cover up, so most definitely we want to break it down. Riggs, Von Bryant, if you guys want to come up, the link is definitely pinned to the top on the Knowledge and Relationships channel. So definitely, come on up if you guys can. Go ahead, Sophisticated Jerk, before I get the next video set up.
Yeah, it looked like they trying to turn that church to the trap house, man. Like, yeah, y'all watch Power, Raising Canaan? They was up there looking like what was it, Snapping Pops?
Oh man,
my man had a jumpsuit on, and she wearing the like multicolored like outfit, then the jeans. Yeah, man, I think they're definitely it looks like they're trying to put the focus on them versus like the church and stuff like that, trying to like humble themselves. So they definitely flashy, man. And even the people that's kind of plugged into that church, man, for them to kind of support them type of people, man, this is crazy to me. Yeah, it seemed like a lot, like O'Shea was saying, a lot of fuckery in there.
No, I definitely agree with you on that part. And it is. And here's my take into it. So with the BBL situation, and again, I'm going to play the video about, more about that. But with the BBL situation, to me, I look at it as more like a gimmick. Of course, we had to break down the character of the pastor who's anointing this lady to be a co-pastor, which here's the thing. A lot of women's going to disagree on this. But I'm just a messenger on this. you have a lot of people that will say, well, you know, the Bible says women shouldn't be preaching on the stage anyways, like in a group of other people, even amongst other men. But, you know, everybody has their own way of preaching their own style of things. So I'm not going to knock anybody else's belief in their teaching, but I will judge, however, in this case, in this situation, because I feel like this person is trying to use gimmicks. And you're using that woman, right, with a rounded shape, beautiful woman. You could have found any other woman that could probably seem to be more closer to God if you want to make her as a co-pastor. Again, you know, people look for men for leadership, not just like, you know, with women, but, you know, I digress from that part. The main thing I'm just saying is that I think he was using that as a way to try to get more, maybe brothers to start coming to church. You start looking at that rounded shape. Then it's like you're going to start bringing more people into it. So I think it is a way for him to try to bring more members in so they can start, like, you know, simping, pulling more money out of their pockets so he could, you know, get more rich, I believe. And then also, too, I think it's just pretty much like with straight lust. If you already have a reputation with him and, you know, what, 10 or 15 baby mamas, who's to say she might become the next?
Yeah, I think it was just his like desires, honestly. I think I don't think he had an elaborate plan. I just think he saw her, wanted her, and he just, you know, put her at the forefront of a lot of stuff. You know, I think when you select anybody for, I'll say, leadership positions, I understand the old context where they say like a man should be ruling, but it also says, I think, in the word where God's going to deliver his message through any vessel. So I think it could come through anybody that's like, you know, actually walking that life. But for him to kind of put her at the forefront based on like how she looks and stuff, you know, it should be based on the experience, you know, who could deliver the right message, who could draw people in and stuff. And you would think like you'd be kind of like watering yourself down, whether you're a man or a female, you know, inside the church where you could draw people in versus like trying to, you know, sexualize yourself to a certain degree. So yeah, that's they definitely also fuckery.
Who is this? The pastor right here?
No, this is so this is like another chick, you know, who's pretty much responding to people who, well, basically she's responding to, like, I guess her so-called friends for being upset, or the people from her church being upset because she was already, well, you know, a pretty woman, had already a nice natural shape, but she pretty much got her, you know, some areas around her fat transferred to make her hips wider, to make her butt bigger. But then yet she goes on social media to talk about the word of God. So this is her response of the so-called Christian BBL.
I don't listen. Okay, operation is an operation. I don't want to put religion on that. Let me say this. And I'm not trying to compare religions, but I am comparing the culture, right? In Islam, women sit in the back, right?
Yeah.
And even in masjids where they don't separate men and women, they are very, very keen on how you dress when you come into a house of worship. Because in Islam, they're doing salat, and salat is where you have to bend over and you have to kneel and prostrate. And so men being in the back, they understand that this is about spirituality, but at the same time, we're still talking about people and their carnal nature. So a lot of times people felt like, you know, women being in the back had everything to do with their status as women. But in 2024, has nothing to do with status. It has everything to do with understanding how people, humans, operate, right? So in respect to the Christian church, right, this is seemingly an easy fix. If you have a woman who is going to co-pastor a church, right, she has to understand that preaching and pastoring are two different things. You can preach without anybody seeing your face or your body. You can be just as effective with people hearing your voice as not. However, if you're going to be in front of people, you have to understand what you look like represents what you're talking about and the institution you're in. It seems like an easy fix. So if you're going to be a co-pastor, how you dress has to be in accordance with being a pastor and not forgetting that people have a carnal nature. That's what that should be. It's an easy fix. So if she comes on stage, instead of wearing the tight pants, okay, which the tight pants in a historical place, put on a knee-length skirt, okay, with a blazer. How about that in a pretty top? That's it. That's all you need. Period. Like, nobody's saying you have to hide your shape, but it's an easy fix. But to M3's point, it's really not an easy fix because the imperative is to attract more people. And you can't attract men without attracting them sexually, first of all. Like, you're not. Like, the church is already losing the male gaze in a sense. So to get the males back in church, you have to put the females in front of them. And I'll be honest with you, this is the reason why, as parents, right, we can't teach our children like from our mouth. We have to teach them from our actions. And in this guy's actions, it's clear he has a sexual issue. He's led by his sexuality. And that is seemingly in front of his belief system. So every decision he makes is going to be from that imperative. And this is why they say when you see men who can't hold down a serious relationship, putting them in leadership positions, that's a problem, because how a man chooses a woman tells you how he is in life, period. If he's fickle when it comes to who he chooses, he's going to be fickle in terms of who he chooses. Okay, like that's why presidents have to be married. That's why governors must at least be engaged. Like, you can't have leadership like that with a bunch of single men just sleeping around. It's just not good for religious institutions or even secular institutions in terms of government. So right now, I feel that I get what he's trying to do, gain more people to come to the church. But this tells me that spirituality has nothing to do with church. This is what this is telling me. And as much as I hate saying it, but I can see why people are leaving the church, and I can see why people are leaving Christianity and religion as a whole, because it is about money. It's not about, the spiritual development of the community. I don't know if you guys seen the movie Avatar. Have you seen the movie Avatar?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, you remember the chief and his wife? You remember that in the first, the chief and his wife. The wife was the spiritual leader, and the husband was the military leader of the clan. So to be a leader's wife, you also have to lead because you are one with him. There is no separation between that. And we come from a culture where the chief, his wife is also a chief in her own respect. So therefore, they both have to adhere to a certain level of respect for the institutions that they're in. If you have a chief who can't seem to hold a relationship down, and then he's trying to choose a co-pastor, then he chooses a woman from a political standpoint that's disastrous. And then he chooses a woman that doesn't represent like the institution of Christianity. That just tells you that this has nothing to do with his calling to Christianity and spirit, and everything to do with commerce. And my thing is this: a lot of people talk a lot of shit about the government and commerce and how we just a political machine out here and not a country. And then they act like this. So my thing is, I'm not upset at him for doing this. I'm just upset at people who seem to come into it and act like this isn't what we're looking at. Like, hey, get your money, boo-boo. But for the boo-boo fools in the audience, that's who I'm worried about at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, and I agree with Lola, because it's just like, first you had Eddie Long, now this guy, and y'all supporting that? Man, I would have been out the door. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Lola's right. You got to lead by example. Certain roles, man, I'm not saying like you got to be perfect throughout life, because, man, we all have our issues. But, me personally, I'm not going to sign up for like a pastor role because I just understand like what comes with that. So it's like, man, you got to know yourself. If you ain't willing to walk that walk, man, step to the left. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, they done turned the church to like happy hour and shit, So, yeah, and it's just like, man, if you ain't serious about it, it's like, man, don't step up to that plate, man. You can help out in other areas. Like, shoot, she could go and, lead in different parts. But, man, you reserve them roles for the people that's like walking that white, that has the discipline, that lives that. So yeah, he's definitely. It just seemed like he wanted that kind of celebrity status that comes with those mega churches and stuff, and he's kind of using that pulpit to, you know, get at the females and shit, because it seemed like he just never had the discipline. So for them to elect him and not even do no background checks, man, that's crazy to me.
And keep in mind too that when you look at Christianity as a religion and you look at Jesus's teachings on lust and causing lust, it's a very serious topic as a woman, that if you purposely dress in a way that you know will attract lusty attention, right? And you're causing someone to do something so grave that it is equal to the sin itself. Like, just to look at you, according to the words of Jesus, what you're talking about are people who do not respect the religion, but they do respect the attention that the religion gets. And this is why when women dress like this lady down bottom here and claim to be Christian, I always say that a lot of times people want to claim religions because it's popular, when truth is they really are atheists, and they just haven't come to terms with the atheism within. Because they really don't believe in what Jesus said. He said, if you look upon a woman and with that lust, it's better for you to gouge your eyes out, cut your hand off, than to sit and do that. I'm telling you now, that's a serious sin. But people will come here, look like that, and say, oh, I'm following Jesus, I'm following God. Listen, God it hates you, according to the Bible. So I don't understand how people, especially in Christianity, keep coming online, knowing we all have access to the same Bible, okay? And trying to portray this image of religion is what we want it to be versus what it actually says it is in the book that you claim to follow. I don't know what to say, but I'm glad people are leaving. Like, seriously, I don't know.
Me too.
Yeah.
What's good, Sean?
What's going down?
How you doing, Sean? How you doing?
I'm good. How's everybody doing?
Doing fantastic, man. Thanks for asking.
That's good.
What's your take on this, Sean?
There were some fair assessments that were being made. I can understand and agree with pretty much all of them. But I mean, if you dig deeper, the root of even having a BBL is against religious beliefs. So because you're basically going against what the Lord created in any religion. And so if that is the case, then we can start there. Are you really being faithful or following a religion if you're even getting a BBL or an altercation, augmentation in yourself, whether it be male or female?
Sean, I gotta give you a little pushback on that, man. You ever seen a girl like ass look like a DVD case? She gotta get that BBL. Oh, she gotta go under that knife, bro. Like
again, I hear you, but that's not really pushback. That's another matter of opinion. If you're truly going into religious beliefs, there is no pushback on it. That's because you're going into religious beliefs. Now, a lot of us don't follow religious beliefs. And, you know, as you said earlier, a lot of religion and religious people are not qualified for what they do, and they're doing it for wrong reasons. A pastor and a politician are very similar. If you ask me, they both go to a stage and they both promise lies.
Okay.
Well, okay,
not all.
Let me ask you this. What part of the Bible are you drawing from when you say, now, not to say that I support getting BBLs. I just personally don't do it. But what part of the religion are you drawing from when you say that it is against Christianity to get a BBL or alter one's body? What part of the book are you referencing?
I'm talking about if God created you and he created you in perfection, so to speak, or in his own image. That was a purpose for that. There was an intention for that. In either religion, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, he created something not for you to alter it.
So you're not really drawing on any specific part of the
I'm not
Bible
going on scripture. I'm going
or anything. You just
because principles, the principles of religion. To me, scripture are just a formulation of principles that we live by, you know, and we have depictions of those principles, and sometimes we have some reality that it's based on and some reality that it is, but it's still the principles that are being delivered and that are being followed more so than specifically the people.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, that in respect to God's creation, right? For you to do that, it is to say, hey, you're not satisfied with it, right? But and not that we need to get off into this because it's a side conversation, but I'll be honest with you, there's enough room in that there's enough holes in that argument for people to actually use the Bible and the Quran and a couple other books to kind of combat what you said there, just based on what's in the Bible itself, not necessarily even speculating on opinions based on principles. There's enough room to combat that, but what I'll say, is this. Okay, let's suppose she got the BBL because of whatever reason, right? Let's say, okay, she got the BBL. Now that she got the BBL, did she get the BBL because she was going to pastor and she needed people to look at it? Or did she get the BBL because her husband needed her to have a bigger ass, or whatever the case may be? What are they teaching to their congregation based on that information? Because I'll be honest with you, that's nobody's business. Like, who got a BBL? I shouldn't know that she got a BBL. Like, I wouldn't have known if nobody would have told me. That's really private information. So if that is something that's becoming a regulation over there, we have to kind of question, well, what are we really talking about? Because again, men claim I hate BBLs. A lot of men claim they hate BBLs and false hair and nails and makeup and all this other stuff. But then the only way to get their attention is to put a bitch on that got false hair and nails and makeup and BBLs.
But what type of attention is that attracting? Not attention. That's not the attention of a wife. Usually, that's the attention of, if in fact you're honorable. If you're looking for sex and want to attract, then obviously, you will get that. And that's the type of men that are attracted to that. The men that you're referring to that are opposed to it are probably, or the men that are for it are probably the men you don't want. But
let me hold on for a second. Let me jump into this real quick, right? Because sometimes it is important, right? Since we are having this type of conversation, to have some type of reference, right? Now, here's the thing. Of course, the Bible is like what, like 3,000-year-old book or something. I'm just assuming. I don't know the correct number, but some people, when you read, scriptures, right, you can still apply it to like modern times, especially if you're considering, in this case, right, trying to get a BBL for a woman, that is, right? But okay, you have like scriptures that talks about the inner beauty, even though it's not specifically on BBLs, but you have 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 3-4, where it emphasizes the beauty, that's internally rather than like the outside appearance. You have 1 Corinthians 6, verse 19-20, where it talks about the body as the temple of the Holy Spirit. So it's like you do have some like scriptures that do talk about and is fixated on, focus on more of the internal attributes. Now, I'm not saying the Bible's telling you like look all dusty now, but the primary is about what goes on behind in your heart as opposed to your outwardness. Because you could glamorize yourself all you want to, but internally, if your spirit is still corrupt, all that stuff won't even matter. That BBL is not gonna go with you to heaven. I'm just saying.
But just one quick point, because I do think, like, if you do get it, that's fine and dandy, but I think when you're doing it and you're becoming a distraction to the church, that's where I think the issue comes. And then a lot of times people, if they're being honest, they're like, I think that's where Sean's going, is just like, they're getting this for the sexual attraction. But like I see what Lola's talking about, like, say like a female, she's married with her husband, they committed and she wouldn't look good for him and he's on board. And I don't see an issue with that aspect because they agree to it. She's doing it for him, his physical attraction. But for the most part, these people getting it for that external.
I don't know if it's
sexual attention.
I do have a pushback on that part, at least a little bit. But is it really a distraction, or maybe is probably a way to help improve our attention span? Because now these days, like, our attention span is very low. So sometimes, right, I'm just playing devil's advocate on this one.
I think it's just her dress. I don't think it's her body. I think it's her. What if that was really her natural body? It's how she's dressed.
No, I know. No, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, the shape does have something to do with it, but it's the shape and the way how she's dressing. So let's say for me, a person who has ADHD, my attention span could be all over the place. But but if you're dressing like, provocatively, and then you're trying to teach me something, 9 times out of 10, I think I'll be able to listen. You know?
Okay, I got you.
Like I said, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm not saying that's
To your point, let's take away the pulpit and talk about teachers that we have seen that we used to say, I wish I had a teacher like that, because of the way that they were dressed and the how provocative it was to us as men/students. So it doesn't matter either way, and maybe they do feel good about themselves in doing that, but is there appropriateness to it is, I guess, what's being questioned. And I never heard the lady speak, for all we know, because we haven't mentioned anything about her ability to speak. She might be a good pastor / preacher who is delivering the word well. And we're
that's why I asked. That's why I asked. BBL have to do with her pastoring, but M3 said he was going to get there, because I said, did she get the BBL?
I got the video down there. Yeah.
Like, I don't know where the BBL came in at when it comes to her pastoring, but my thing is, based on the video footage that he played, I would only assume that the issue is really how she's dressed and how it comes across. Now, I think that video footage you showed of the girl with the camera, like,
yes, she is.
That's her. Okay, females over the age of 30 that do that are city girls, and they wretches. Usually, like you see, so I can see a ratchet like over 30 years old, miss. I'm sorry, like, put that shit down and go live your life as an adult. But okay, that's all I'm saying.
You're making a good point, but here's my point: why are we specifically only attacking women? Men do it all the time. They dress up pretty well to be able to attract different women, especially pastors specifically. You just mentioned Eddie Long. You just mentioned there are people, pastors, who dress up and or show different types of accolades or attributes, whether it be cars and planes and things of that nature, to attract people. And they're doing the same exact thing on a different scale, but we're not. Well, we do sometimes put it against them as well, but it's the same principle and mentality, and that's what I'm speaking towards. Because earlier you said, what if her husband wanted it? That doesn't mean her husband mind is in the right place, and just because her husband mind wants it doesn't mean that it's a good thing to do. Just because her husband is requesting it, because his mind might not be in the right place. So we're checking all of their the women's points of views, which I understand, but we're not checking any of the men's points of views, and they have the same mentality, and the mentality is the problem, not really the dressing or the BBL.
All I know is, if Boris in his heyday was a pastor, he could have on a grand boo-boo, okay? People are still going to be attracted to him. You know what I mean when I say a grand boo-boo, okay? You know how big that outfit is. Like, you don't see nothing. Like, the traditional African, like, clothing, like, people still going to be attracted to him. So it's nothing wrong with being attracted, but when you go out your way to do things that you know carnally will get people more attracted to you, and you're in a position of leadership under spirituality, this is where it becomes toxic. Under spirituality, and that's my own.
I get it. Yeah.
That's my own.
Agreed. It links to the point that I was making, because there are some people who aren't Boris, and they're using men specifically, and they're using looking nice, etc., smelling good, having a good dialogue and way with their words to be able to attract certain congregation members that if you look at a lot of their congregation is predominantly women in those instances, or in many of those instances. And that's the point that I'm making, is that it is the same law that we're talking about with the lady just from a different standpoint.
Okay, let me say this. I think, and I'll give men credit. I don't think men have been as lusty, okay? Generally speaking, as women have been in these positions, I think men typically, they come to this conversation of pastoring, they have on their regular suit, they have on their regular jacket, and they out there on the pulpit talking. You know, like I really don't see men going out their way to wear like Eddie Long, right? And he's an exception, wearing the muscle shirt in the pulpit. I have never seen that except for on him. So when I say that I see men that come out and they might be attractive, but I don't see men doing what I'm seeing on the women's end, I'm not saying that because I'm trying to be biased. I'm saying that because when I look at mega churches and I see those pastors, they have all of them have on the same suits, like the blazer, the white shirt, and that's the same shit. Like I don't see anything extra.
But see, Sean, if he say like he was rocking an outfit, because like what Lola's saying, man, there's nothing wrong with like dressing nice if it's not like distracting people. But say like the pastor came out, he had like some chains on and stuff, and yeah, that I'll be like, yeah, I agree with you on that. But I like, can you pull up the video where they showed the pictures of him and her? You'll see a big discrepancy. So like he was probably a little over flashy, but
okay. I didn't
wait. We talking about sophisticated jerk? Go back.
Yeah,
to,
pull up the video where they had him in the like cream outfit, and then the O'Shea Duke one where they showed him dressed up, and then her when she had on that like patterned outfit. It's night and day, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, but I get what you're saying, Sean. Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm not disputing that, but just think of this. We just finished saying they look nice, and to a lady, I agree, but to a man, I'm looking at a person. When you got on designer everything, which a lot of pastors do have on, and it was brought to my attention by some women, because I didn't even know they were designer. They were like, oh, nah, that's so-and-so and so-and-so. And I'm like, wow. So if you're doing all of this design, and it's a bit beyond looking good. It's a bit beyond looking presentable. It's a bit
I got you.
You know, but of course, I'm not really into designers, so I don't recognize it. But those women who again, they might be trying to attract, recognize it clearly. Oh, that's money. Oh, this, that. And that is part of what I'm saying. They allure women just as much as women and with BBLs allure men.
Yeah, that cat trying to get ass. Sean's right.
This outfit.
My man got the turtleneck and stuff. Yeah, he's trying to. Okay, Sean's right.
Hold on. As a woman, I'm looking at this image right here before you press play. All I see is a guy with a blazer and a turtleneck. I don't see a guy trying to woo a woman into things.
Lola, he got on a Coke White. Stop playing, Lola.
That's because you're a woman. That's because you're a woman and you're attracted to that. As men, we ain't attracted to the flash. We're attracted to the word more than anything, and so we ain't looking at that. And when we are seeing that, we're looking at somebody flashing.
No. Okay, here's the thing. I'm not into labels. What I'm looking at is does his dress present as someone that's trying to gain someone's lust factor, like a turtleneck and a blazer? Like, is that trying to get my lust factor going? I'll be honest with you, it's not working on me. If he was trying to get someone to look at him as sexy with that on, I mean, I don't see it. And maybe it's because it's me. But this is just my opinion. I think men don't really compare when it comes to women and that whole lust factor in terms of how they dress on stage. Like, I'm not seeing the sexy right here. That might cost $2,000 as far as I know, but I'm not sexy.
Well, let me ask you this question. Do you think he's walking like that every day?
I don't know. What do you mean?
Is he wearing a shirt and suit anywhere when he goes out to the grocery store? Is he putting that on?
That's probably his Sunday outfit. What do you mean?
I've been asking the question. I am not disputing whether it's his Sunday or maybe Sunday he want to be his best day. I'm asking, do you think he's... Because you're saying that it's average. It looks at, I'm like, no, average would be when you go to the supermarket.
Well, no. If he would have came on stage with a tight white shirt on that's showing his pecs and right here and not the stomach, you know, the sexy shirts men wear that only show your arms and shit. If he would have came out with that, now that is what you wear to the market, I would have been like, okay, he might be trying to get the ladies on him. But wearing a turtleneck and a blazer, like I don't know. I kind of expect
Sean, that's the female pastor right there. Sean.
Yeah. What?
let me.
That's a female pastor right there.
But one thing, it's easy to tell. See, you're talking about all the things you're attracted to. That's what you're attracted to.
Yeah,
let's think of the man who's not attractive, who, let's just say reasonably he might not be attractive, but he's dressed a certain way that he becomes appealing. Think of those men and tell me your opinion from there. Not the one that you like.
Listen. Whether you cute in the face or you butter ugly, okay? A turtleneck and a blazer is not a man trying to heighten my lust factor. Like I just don't see that. Like a turtleneck and a blazer.
I know a lot of women who would argue down because they enjoy that. They actually appeal. Now,
they might be appealing to it, but to say from his intention that he's trying to dress lustfully as a pastor because he has on a blazer and a turtleneck, I feel like you can't put that on him. Not on a blazer and a turtleneck, for goodness sake.
Okay, I mean, and I dispute that. When you're walking out when I'm walking out the house and I'm like, how I look to my lady, and she's like, oh yeah, that looks good, then I am trying to look good. When I'm walking out the house and I'm just walking out and to care less how she thinks I look, then I'm not trying to look good. And if I'm trying to look good, then I'm attracting people.
No. I disagree. As a woman, you looking presentable and thus looking good does not mean you're trying to go out there and dress sexy for other people or sexual or gain somebody else's lust factor because of how you look. That's not what that means. It just means that you look presentable, and presentable looks attractive to most people. If you go outside with a white turtleneck on and a blazer to match, most people are gonna say you look presentable. And if somebody is into that kind of casual look, they're gonna say that looks good, but that doesn't mean that they find you sexually exciting because you have on a turtleneck and a blazer, for goodness sake. And from a Christian standpoint, who in the world is going to blame you for trying to be like, let's say lewd? I think that's the word for it in the Bible, lewdful, by wearing a blazer and a turtleneck.
Yeah, I don't think the blazer, but like if it was like super name brand, you could tell. I'll agree with you on that, Sean. But yeah, the blazer and the turtleneck, I don't think it's for the lust factor. But
right.
when she was rocking in the Pope,
right? Because I wasn't specific. I didn't see that outfit, so I wasn't talking about that outfit specifically. That just happened. But I'm talking about the mentality of getting dressed to allure or to attract different people.
No, I agree with you on what their intentions probably are. But yeah, here go another one. My man got the tracksuit. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I'll be honest with you. I just feel like that's kind of.
Look like Kirk Franklin. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't feel like anybody in this picture is dressed inappropriately.
No, not in this one. But go back to the one where she like some of her outfits. Like she definitely trying to market the curvature and stuff like that. She putting on full display.
The one before that with the colorful stuff,
she
that's a bit much.
Yeah. This one is a little bit more on the. To me, in my opinion, that's like a little bit on the modest side or whatever. Yeah. This one out here,
yeah, she for the
now,
streets.
It's like hoochie mom. Oh wait, the red bottles. If I could get the red bottles real quick.
Get the red bottles in. Oh
yeah, she got the.
Okay, right here, and then you got the little rip. Showing like the kneecaps and all that. I mean, that's
okay with the rip. I'm okay with the rip, but I'll be honest with you, the leopard print gives her,
Yeah, she.
Not as a pastor's wife or a pastor. No, not as those two. Then you can be the chick that came in for Bible study looking like that.
That's what I'm saying.
But not the pastor's wife.
But that isn't that fashion and style that is in right now, similar to what he's wearing, which is fashion and style that is in right now.
I never knew that. But I'm here. I didn't know that was in style.
No, but that's a little bit different. Let me see. Okay, I don't know what the dashiki, but I mean that's pretty cool. Like for fellow Africans and all. But hold on, let me go back to like him dressed like these guys.
You don't stop showing Eddie Long face. I don't want to see this man face. Eddie Long, please get his face out of here, please.
Yeah, I don't see enough. I honestly like that. That to me, that's kind of appropriate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like again, unless you come into the church, right, and you have like, well, he don't really have a fit shape, but if he did, right, you come out with a Carl Johnson from GTA 3 t-shirt, you know what I mean, tank top or whatever, and he come out there flexing, then that's like a different story or whatever. But of course, the visual of men and women, we kind of see things differently. We more get aroused with our eyes, but women, they get more aroused with their ears. You know what I mean? So he may have certain words that might kind of penetrate, let's say, through Lola's ears, for example, right? That will turn her on, as opposed to him dressing a certain type of way. But let me go ahead and I'm gonna get to the video because
I like how y'all just said my ears is weak. I like that. I got weak ears. Okay, I got you.
Hey, this is hypothetically though, right? But we know your ears is fairly strong, Lola. So
yeah, I got some strong ears.
Strong ears. You know what I mean? From a strong woman. Who's on probation.
Strong ears.
All right, so this is we're gonna find out. I forgot her name already, but so basically she kind of breaks down her version of a Christian BBL, but she's being sarcastic. Let's go ahead and put this. Oh, I'm sorry. Gotta turn the volume on. Fair use.
Recently, I've come across this particular YouTuber by the name of Sophiology. She is a Nigerian American influencer who has a very particular niche. And what I have noticed is a lot of influencers are combining niches to pretty much get a more specific audience. So instead of being an influencer that focuses on, let's say, hair, you'll get somebody who focuses on hair, influencing, and in her case, Christianity. So she's a person that tries to spread the message of Jesus through her content, while at the same time doing lifestyle content. Now, by looking at the way that she dresses, you would really think that the young lady is a IG model, right? So self-care, she does.
I'm gonna pause this real quick. I think this is where it goes back to like what you were saying, Lola, where kind of like where the distraction lies is like the way how you're dressing. Despite on what type of shape that you have, look, you could have like the shape of Gumby, all right? But if you're dressing a certain type of way, but then you're supposed to be preaching through scripture or from the Bible, from whatever, look, it could be the Quran or whatever. I know most women usually supposed to practice a modest type of fashion sense, where it's like parts that that's going to make another person struggle. You may want to kind of alter your wardrobe, but again, this person seems more freelance.
It goes back to the intentions, and I always tend to ask people in conversation, what is your intention with either what you said or why you're here or whatever? What is your intention? Because at this rate, I'm not Christian, but I feel like I could preach Christianity better than these bitches. Okay, seriously. But like seriously, like they don't. I know more about Jesus than they do at this point, because it's like, first off, okay, Jesus clearly did not like people who did things purposely, like knowing that, like he had forgiveness for people who didn't know, and he told them, "Hey, go back, you forgiven, don't do it no more." But the people who feel like, "Oh, fuck that shit," like Jesus said, "Oh, me and my daddy gonna turn our back on you." Like, so I'm just saying, like, listen, stop trying to make everything about $1. Like, if you want to do lifestyle content, do lifestyle content. But Jesus don't need you to spread no goddamn messages about what he's saying while you got your ass turned back around. Like, what are you doing?
I like what Lola was saying before, man. As far as it's like people are trying to conform religion to fit their like wants and needs and stuff versus conforming to it. You gotta make a decision. Like, if you want to like take that label, then man, you gotta apply by it. You gotta, like I said, lead by example. You gotta structure yourself a little differently. You can't have both. So it's like people's just so greedy and self-centered, man, that they think, oh, I'm gonna use the Christian label and jump out there. And like we kind of said before, it's like, man, I do see why people are leaving the church. I remember a couple lives back, I was telling you to reach out to Stan, because Stan was like, yo, man, I'm through with like people in the church. He was like, I'm done with that. And I see why people have that sentiment, because it's just like people are kind of full of shit, and like Lola said, it's like she does know the Bible, But a lot of people that will come out here and put the label on themselves, man, you see how they maneuver, they just full of shit. So yeah, it's crazy.
Well, to add on to it, me and Stan, we both came from the same church. So a lot of times, when I'm dissing, certain Christians or certain organizations, we all came from that background where it was like, okay, you preach about one thing, but then relationship wise, and it's funny because they talk about relationships a lot. There was a lot of classism, behind the pulpit. And I'm not saying we should be focused on what people are not doing, but I'm gonna just be honest with you. Where we come from, hey, if we're gonna give you if you want the respect is earned, it's not given. So if you think that you could just disrespect people, right, that came from the hood or from the streets, you got another thing coming. Yes, you could be saved, you could love Jesus all you want to, but I'm the type of dude, and I remember somebody told me about this. It was like, hey, if somebody slap your cheek, you need to turn around, slap, and let the person slap your other cheek. And you know what I told him? I told him, look, bro, I will take that same Bible, use that same scripture, and smack you in the face if you ever smack me in my cheek.
Yeah, you gotta get that word, you slap me. Right.
MP keeping 100, you were sitting in the back row now. Okay. And then Graper says maybe she's targeting her selective Christian viewers that wish to be here. Oh, sorry, that wish to be here. Her word. Okay. And okay. I think Great Pill will. He will probably be attending to the church. I could kind of see that. He did ask for the IG though, so I had to bless him with that one,
I've been seeing Great Pill on social media, liking these pages with these girls turned around showing their only asset, which is their ass.
Shout out to Great Pill.
Yeah, doing that shit. I be seeing them.
Damn, Lola be doing that investigation.
Lola, you made a great point that I don't want to gloss over. The fact of the attention. And that's really what I'm speaking to. I was a Christian man now, but I was for a long time just spiritual and non-religious, learning different religions because the hypocrisy of those who are preaching the religion. And then this, like I said, it's not one specific, even though I tend to lean into Christianity more often. Because the intentions, and me coming from the entertainment industry, when I would go to some churches and I visited a lot of them, I would feel like I'm at a concert. And, who's upstage and who, I would compare the pastors in that manner. And I would just look at the audiences or the congregation and watch their reactions to it all. And I'm just sitting there looking like, wow, this is a great entertaining scenario. He's doing all of the right things. He's been practicing. He got rehearsal down. He got the gestures, the wording, the booms and the ha's, and all on cue.
Yeah.
So I understood where a lot of people. I was one of those people who wound up not really being able to embrace, and the congregations were mainly women in most of the congregations that I'm speaking of, and I will always see like, this cat, he got all these women just ears and nose open, using religion.
Yeah, but you know what? Okay. Women are more spiritually inclined. I'm not saying they're more spiritual than men, but they're more spiritually inclined than men. So it doesn't mean that he's really doing a good job. It just means that women are more predisposed to being in that sort of environment than men. And I'll be honest with you, if these women weren't in the church, right, where would they be? Where would they be?
Okay, but is that what you call spiritually inclined because they're in church? I mean,
no, they and I'm not saying like physically going to the church means they're spiritually inclined. What I mean is women tend to be more cerebral in terms of connection to spirit than men. So they tend to gravitate to group settings that talk about spiritual things. That's just what women tend to do. It doesn't have much to do with what they can do. That's just what they tend to.
I get what you're saying, Lola, about it. But the problem is too. The flip side is that they could easily be manipulated.
I get that. I get that's what I'm saying. They tend to be in those situations. So therefore, if they wasn't there, like in the church, I suppose there's no such thing anymore as church. Where would they be? Now the community or individual relationships would have to take on the burden of that spiritual guidance. And I'm gonna be honest with you, there isn't that's virtually missing from our community and our relationships. Like most women, when they think about a husband, do not think about your husband literally being a priest in your religion. Like they just don't see their husbands as being a literal priest, because people are not raised to be priests. Everybody isn't a priest of their household. Like everybody isn't even structured to even have to do that. Most men go to other men for, group settings to talk about their issues. Every man isn't a priest. But strangely, if you take these women out of the church and put them in a home, who's supposed to sit and do that? So I get it that women are susceptible to being manipulated, but it's not their fault that they can be manipulated. It's the fault of the person's manipulating. That's what that is.
Right. I gotta hurry up and get to this video because we got a couple of minutes. Right. And then we could get back on the conversation.
Yeah, right. So she was already looking pretty good before. She decided to get a fat transfer to her hips in order to, let's say, make the derriere bigger, which is what she's done, right? So she lost some weight, but then she also wanted to enhance the buttocks. Now, once she did so many people came after her. A lot of videos are talking about her right now with her Christian BBL. And so she decided to finally clap back at the haters who talked about her Christian BBL. What I'd like to do is I'd like to play her response, and then I'm going to come back.
Hey guys, so yes, apparently, as you have heard, I am the first girl ever to get a Christian BBL. A lot of people have been asking me what a Christian BBL is. I have a YouTube video up about it, but people would rather be loud and wrong. So here I am to compress basically how I got my Christian BBL and what exactly that even is. I get the YouTube vlogs are not for everyone. I only watch a few YouTubers myself. By the way, my name is Sophiology. So what is a Christian BBL and how did I end up getting mine? Okay. So I booked my surgery with Dr. Jung in Houston. I'm not sure if he's a Christian. I never asked him. It wasn't relevant to my surgery. But anyways, I'm sure God was there because God never leaves me. Everyone has called my procedure a BBL, so I call it that now too. But if we're being specific, I specifically got lipo 360 and fat transfer to my hips. If I sound aggravated, it's been a long day. But anyways, I decided that instead of getting the surgery and keeping it hush, hush, it would be nice to let my followers know I got this surgery because I'm honest. I've lost 40 pounds this year, and I also have a reputation on YouTube for weight loss, self-care, beauty influencing, you name it. So being transparent is kind of important, and I'm here for the growth. I knew not everyone would be happy about my choice to get my body done because arguably I had a nice body before. And I'm not supposed to change how God made me or whatever, but I did. And I chose to be honest about it. So I shared my experience on YouTube, just a regular BBL, and I was met with more backlash than I expected. Like, I was being dragged. My family was so upset and worried for my mental health. Like, it was crazy. And I know I got Christian followers, but to be dragged like that is crazy. I was disgusted by the way some people were talking to me. And if you know me in real life, I don't tolerate such rubbish. You're not going to bully me and I keep quiet in the name of I'm an influencer. If I have time, I'm going to clap back. Never was I promoting plastic surgery or saying it's right in God's eyes. I was just being honest and sharing my experience to my followers. I think it's the Nigerian in me that can be traumatic at times. Like, it's very Nigerian to be sarcastic when you're insulting people. And when you mix sarcasm and dramatization, you basically have a recipe for what happened yesterday. So I decided, you know what, as much as I love having a Christian audience or whatever, I don't want the judgmental ones who speak to me out the side of their neck as if they're perfect or holier than everybody else. I want the girls and guys that are humble and know that a walk with God is not spotless. The only perfect example of a person is Jesus. And I found it necessary to remind people that the God I serve still loves you
even when you do things, he told you not to do
Sophiology, right? A woman who says that she loves Jesus. The issue that I have with her is I don't believe that Sophiology is trying to adhere to the modesty of Christianity. I honestly believe that she wants to make God be like her. And that is what so many people try to do in the religion. There's no sacrifice from them. They want to dress like they want, go out like they want, present themselves how they want, and then at the same time talk about their Christians when, you know, IG models, they're showing buttocks and everything. And again, what level of Christianity is that? Like, you might be a believer, but what you look like is something that's not a Christian. Like when you see women who are Muslim are making a sacrifice to look modest, to be. When I would ask this lady, what is her sacrifice? Because for you to be a Christian, don't you have to do something? Like, where is the sacrifice? It looks like you're living the life of any IG model, hip hop model, or anything like that. The way you present yourself. A lot of times, scantily dressed, half naked, very revealing clothes. Not that it looks bad, because she's not a bad looking lady at all. You know, you wanted to enhance the butt, and you talked about, hey, God loves you, even though you're doing wrong. Well, so why did you do it? So again, if you're not accountable in the faith, imagine a man who...
I gotta stop this real quick. Hold on. You know what? I had it in my thoughts, but I was like, wait a minute. She couldn't be bald headed. She had probably something to cover up her hair. I need to go back real quick.
No,
damn it, Great Pill.
No, you don't need to go back.
No, I need to go back because hold on. Oh my God. All right. So
she got a hell of a makeup regimen, boy. That shit look like it take days, man. Is that the typical thing? Like the line of the lips and shit?
Hey, they say like Kim Kardashian, like hers take like 8 hours for them to do her hair, the makeup. Well, how long it takes for you to do makeup?
I asked this to
listen. I got 10 minutes. I got 10 minutes for everything.
I got one question for you. Mm-hmm. Is that a reflection of low self-esteem from childhood?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can see it. It's very obvious that she is steeped in it so bad that she doesn't even see that every aspect of her is fake. And I don't just mean her hair and her makeup and her lashes and her nails and her body. I mean, even her personality on the screen, it's not coming across as like a normal person. It's coming across as, do you have a regular moment where you just a regular person? Like, because every moment can't be like a glam shot. It's like you're trying to show people that you are better than what you really are. And honestly, right, we can see that you're not. We can see that you're smiling, but you're crying on the inside. That's how bad this is. And it's like, at the end of the day, when she said, you know, Christian BBL, I understand why Christians are taking offense to that. Because first of all, we can say Christian lesbianism. We can say Christian Christian killings. We can put the word Christian in front of a lot of dumb shit that the Bible vehemently says you shouldn't do. That doesn't make it Christian, okay? So when you do that, you are insulting a whole community, okay, that are actually doing shit. And then on top of that, you're making a mockery of it. So when she says, well, I don't understand, clearly you're not balanced enough in yourself to be trying to guide anyone else to anything. You need to be worried about yourself. So again, everything here is screaming that you're dealing with a broken individual that has probably didn't have a father in her life, probably didn't have a mother in her life for real. And I mean her mother in her life, because like I can kind of tell, like, yeah, no, she didn't have a real mom in her life. And then on top of that, she's not been properly loved by anybody in her life. Because when you're a woman, right, and you attempt to talk about spirituality, when you have a community behind you, you know that you can't talk about something that deep without knowing you're representing somebody else. Like, I remember one time I wanted to start a YouTube channel about something, right? And I won't mention what it was, but I got this inclination in my mind that, no, no, this is not for you to talk about. No, you're not ready to talk about that. No. And I had to shut that thought process down because I'm representing my father, my family, like everybody that has influenced me, the elders in my community. I can't go on someplace and just talk and then misrepresent them because I'm feeling like, well, I'm good. You know what I mean? No. So you can clearly see we have a community problem. Okay. We do. And at the end of the day, when it comes to how these women look, I'm not saying she don't look good. I get it. When you don't got curves on your hips, it can make you feel like you want some curves. I get it. Okay. I'm a woman too. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really curvy. Everybody know I'm 4'11". Okay. Like I'm not really curvy. But at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck about what these people want or like. If you don't want me, fuck you. Seriously. Like, and even if I feel some kind of way, still fuck. That's just how I feel. And if more people had the fuck you mentality, they wouldn't go out their way spending money that they don't need to impress people that don't give a shit about it. Seriously. But this is what we're dealing with here because it brings in money. Now, let's see 15 years from now, where she be at with this mentality. Yeah. Now, keep in mind, you see my face? Do I look better or worse than her? Honestly,
no, you look absolutely stunning.
I think you
and
look
that's
better,
no
yeah.
cap.
I was like better.
I mean, this is like the most Mars I've seen.
All this is eyeliner and some lip stain, and I did my eyebrows. That's all this is.
So no makeup in your face at all.
No, that's all this is. And you can see him greasy. You can see him greasy as hell.
I have Are you from Philly?
Huh?
Are you from Philly or New York or anywhere in between those?
I'm not in between Philly and New York now.
No, I'm saying, are you from?
No, I'm from Baltimore.
Yeah, that's close enough. Okay, I get it.
Okay.
Baltimore.
Listen, y'all leave it alone.
Do you think she's a narcissist to a certain degree? Kind of merging in like Christianity and all that?
No, I just think she sees a gimmick and she wants to go with something different and she's trying to catch on, but it's not catching.
I think
that's what I said earlier with Jamal Bryant, those gimmicks.
I and that's why I was bringing. He was a great example of. It wasn't his outfit; it's his mentality. He is self-absorbed, and that's one of the things that is unchristlike, and that's one of the principles that is unchristlike. And so it's hypocrisy, even being self-absorbed in that manner and preaching Christianity, because they kind of conflict with each other.
No, I agree with you on that. But I did want to touch on one thing that Lola said, man, as far as her having that self-awareness. And I think that's important because it's like sometimes, we all are human, man. We might want to jump out there and, be entertaining. But it's like sometimes you do got to step back and be like, man, how's this going to impact the people around me? Like, even in this videos that we're reviewing, it's like, man, how's this going to look towards the church if I'm like out here stepping around doing all this nonsense? They already had like a bad thing with Eddie Long, so I don't need to go out there and do this, bring this heat to the church. And if my feelings are that strong, man, let me step down, man. Like look, I'm stepping down, I'm moving a little different way, and people respect that. But it's just like people, they feel like they gotta have it all. Like even homegirl down here, man, she's like, look, I want to do what I want to do. I'm gonna slap Christianity on it. So it's just like people like you said, self-absorbed and just greedy, man. God damn.
She is very self-aware, but what she's
I don't think so, though.
Now let me explain what she's aware of. She's aware of being selfish. She's aware of being self-absorbed.
Oh, okay.
And she's fine with that. She says it in what she just spoke. I know I'm doing the wrong thing, but I don't care. She said it in other words in this video. She said, I know it's not the Christian way, but I don't care. She's very aware.
I realized I had to spell her name wrong in one of my tags. I thought her name started with a C. It's a K. Karri.
I like what Grey Pill just said. He said she's aware of her followers and supporters. Yeah, so that's another thing. I'm like, well, who's subscribing to her stuff? So it must be some thirsty dudes trying to act like they Christian followers and stuff.
Just dudes, could be a lot of women too who follow the same concept, who are just self-absorbed.
Hold
on, I might have to check out the social media, see like who's following that, because that'd be interesting sometimes.
Hey, I got you right now.
Oh, there you go. Look at my man M3.
Again, you ain't gonna catch me falling like simping around. So let me see real quick. All right. I mean, besides this little picture right here that she posted.
And that was the pastor, the from the first video. Yeah, she ain't got like one picture of the church on there.
Right. But then you always want to have like a church like type of message, right? This like in this season of my love, I'm doing everything from love, not living for love. Okay. I'm doing everything from love, not doing it for love. Okay.
They always got to put like a life quote on some dot shit.
Yeah.
If y'all
I will see the goodness of the Lord. Hold on, let's see. The goodness of the Lord and every promise manifested. Y'all, I don't know what it is about that manifestation, man, but y'all be manifesting hard.
Fairy tale.
My testimony all year will be, and he did just what he said. Thank you so much for every call, text, DM, comment, like, and gift. I feel so loved and seen. Okay.
Listen. As long as people believe that shit, people gonna keep lying about that shit. And honestly, like I said in the beginning, I'm looking at people, and all I'm saying is, if the dummies are still gonna stay there and believe in that, and not saying anything cool, but see, I'm not one of them. I don't even have time to look and click and comment and all that. No, because I already know it's a grip for real. So I listen. Let the actors act. Who's paying to see this is what I want to understand. Who is in that congregation? But hey, I have to jump off. Y'all know I got the Black Files in a couple of minutes. But
okay.
I love coming in. You know what I mean? I was good today, so
thanks for coming through, Lola.
Yeah. We're actually about to come close to an end anyways, Lola. So I appreciate you for coming up.
No
Sean,
problem.
thank you for coming up as well, too, though.
No problem. I'll see y'all in a little bit.
All right, for sure, though. But look, everybody, just as a reminder, man, because we gave you so much content, man, and so much, lust and all that stuff. Look, if anything, man, just like with, Pastor Jamal, Bryant, hey, man, put the money in the collection plate, okay? Please donate to the collection plate for knowledge and relationships. We provide some good, heartwarming content for you guys. Something for your eyes to really see. So if anything, hey man, drop a cash out, drop a PayPal or something, man. Do it for the collection plate and for the value of the live streams, okay? I mean, most of y'all probably would try to hit her up in DMs to try to, drop in some cash apps, but hey, make sure y'all drop in some cash apps for us first though, right? And tell them Knowledge Relationship sent y'all. All right.
Yeah, no doubt. Y'all support the shows, man, because people do put a lot of work in. So y'all support them over here at Knowledge and Relationships, man. They put out a lot of great content. Multiple different things from entertainment to I like the stuff you and Stan are doing. I like the black. So y'all cooking, man. Keep that up, man. That's why I love coming over here and supporting y'all. And Sean, thanks for pulling up, man. You had some great perspective, and I like the dynamic you brought to the conversation.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it, and pleasure meeting you both.
Hey,
you too, Sean, man. Yeah,
well.
Everybody, don't forget to subscribe to Knowledge and Relationships on YouTube. So, thank you again, Sean, man, and we'll definitely see you next time.
Absolutely. Bless.
All right, you too, man.
God bless. All right. Yo, man. Goodness, man. This was like a hell of a live stream, Sophisticated Jerk, but I'm glad that we made it, man. We got it all through.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Christian BBLs, Dr. Jamal's fuckery, definitely a great breakdown, man. Nah, you on point with those clips and stuff. So yeah, we're gonna keep breaking these down and having these discussions.
Yeah, most definitely. I noticed that the traction definitely went up to an all-time high, man, with with the fellas, man. So definitely salutes to the guys for coming up there supporting. And even something like the sisters as well, too, though. But, hey, man, sometimes, man, you got to do what you got to do, man. But overall, man, if you have morals, you know what you can't do. But if you don't give a crap or whatever, then by all means, hey, man, do what you got to do to make that money. But by the end of the day, you can only answer to, the higher power, man. So that's how I look at it.
Absolutely.
All right, man. So, Let's see. Rick says great show. Was on the road listening. No problem, man. Thank you for tuning
What's
in,
up,
Rick.
Big Rig?
Yeah. And respects to Smitty, man. So salutes to you. So everybody, thank you guys for tuning into Knowledge and Relationships Reckless Reviews with M3 and the Sophisticated Jerk. Make sure you guys again subscribe to Knowledge and Relationships. Shout outs to the people that's watching on Instagram as well too. I saw my cousin up there, Nick at Night, Jasmine, Eda Man Williams, Notorious Moms Podcast, Doppy Apparel, and a few others. But thank you guys for tuning in, man. Get the likes up on Knowledge and Relationships. And if you're new, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for our next videos. So again, we are out, and thank you so much, man.
All right, peace.
All right, later.